days
So
and
some
set
people don't have
times.
meatloaf night.
What? I don't know what that means.
Tuesday is meatloaf night, which is sex night.
Oh, code word?
okay.
Girl, I'll never look at
No, I'm
meatloaf the
just saying.
same again. I tell you. I never ever. I don't know, but I tell you.
Threw it out there.
I'm done with it. I never, ever, ever. Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Kingdom Women Talk, where we encourage, validate, and empower others to do life. Today we're going to be talking about, what else? Marital intimacy.
Hooey.
I know, right? People shy away from that topic, but we're going to embrace it. We're going to get into it. We're going to embrace it, right? Because I guess my first question would be, is marital sex and marital intimacy one and the same? No. I'm glad we debunked that myth, because people do think that it's one and the same, right? Mm-hmm. That marital sex and marital intimacy is one and the same. Because when you talk to people and they're like in relationships and they say one is missing, they're like, well, what's the difference?
Mm-hmm. Yes, they do.
So then what would be the difference? If they're not one and the same, what do you think is the difference? What divides the two?
Intimacy for me is just a closeness, spending time together, a closeness, like we're talking, maybe my back is against his chest, or we're looking at each other, or anything where we're both in very close proximity to each other.
Okay.
But there's no sex. I mean, intimacy can be, you pull up to your house, you're both in the same car, and you just stop and you're just talking. Like maybe you just came from a concert or a movie, or you could have just come from church, and you're just sitting in your car and you're just talking about, man, that sermon really blessed me today. Or intimacy is, for me, is two people sharing a space and just being in each other's company and enjoying the love that they have for each other.
That's good.
Now, can the sex part start there? Yes, it can.
Okay, Miss Get It Poppin'. Pow, pow, pow.
Okay.
Okay.
After we get through with the small talk,
Not the small talk.
or what they call the intimacy of foreplay.
Well, I'm glad you said that. Okay, we're going to come back to that. Okay, Angie, what do you think about intimacy?
Intimacy, to me, can be just a space where you feel vulnerable enough to be open.
You took my sense.
Sorry, but that's
Open
what it
to
really
what?
means. I mean, open, like you're open. No, Sheila, not. No.
Get them glasses right, girl.
I'm trying.
Get your mind out the gutter. We ain't got there yet.
It went there quickly.
Yeah, like no. No, where you're like
After
open.
mine, foreplay.
No, she's still
No.
spooning. She's spooning.
Like open to
Yeah,
communicating,
saying what's on
expressing
your
yourself.
mind,
Yeah.
expressing yourself.
Hey, she didn't mean to go there yet. Y'all, calm it down, y'all. It's been a while.
He that finally gonna have something on his hands. I mean, hey.
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing, vulnerability, but I think mine was a combination of the both, so that's really good. So then next question would be for me, foreplay and intimacy, one and the same, separate, or can they intertwine?
They can intertwine.
I think they can.
Intimacy and foreplay. So you think talking is foreplay?
To some degree, it could be.
Oh, yeah, it could be what the conversation is. That's, you know, if you're talking about baseball, then no.
Right.
But if you're talking about, maybe you're looking out sexy sitting over there. I know, thank you.
Shy sister. She acting like shy sister. No,
That's what you do. Act shy. I go to the grocery store and act like complete strangers.
And that trips me out. Every time. That trips me out. Yes. But then in a way, that's a really good example of bonding and intimacy. I guess it's intimacy and foreplay at the same time, because you're setting up the foreplay by having a bonding moment. I think, so then how do we miss the mark? Because I think as a woman, I think we understand the intimacy piece and the foreplay piece. But I think sometimes men just see it all as one. Like they miss the intimacy mark because maybe they think of intimacy as being sex.
And I think it could be because we don't tell, most of us don't tell men what we want.
That's a good point.
That's a good point, yeah.
We don't
Do you
tell
think we're too embarrassed to say that?
I think, for me, I think because of my background, I didn't express it because of what happened. I equated sex with just sex. There was no
emotional
there was
connected
no
or
connection
anything.
to intimacy because it had never been done. You know,
Oh, so that's why she act like that with Ray. Ray rocked her world. No, but now the lights come on. Yes, now I get it. Now I understand it. Okay, ding, 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 ding. Got it. Good. Got it.
yeah, Mr. He defined it in trouble.
So I do think sometimes that men can define that as sex when sometimes we need the intimacy piece for the sex. Right?
A lot of the time.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, we need the intimacy. We need the cuddling. We need the, the conversation. We need and sometimes it doesn't have to be, the conversation don't have to be sexual in nature. It could just be, sometimes it's, how are you? Sometimes it's a hug. Sometimes it's that connection. Sometimes it's just holding hands, holding each other. It can come in many forms. And I think as women, we want you to appeal to our emotions before the physical part comes. And that piece sometimes gets slighted.
Yes. Like coming in, babe, how was your day today? It was okay. Why are you nibbling on her neck? How was your day today? Or her, she comes in, babe, how was your day today? Maybe kissing him on the neck, or rubbing if he has a beard. Most men they like touch.
Yeah.
Touching the beard. Or maybe a man's bald headed. Like mine was. He loved having his head rubbed. So it's just all forms of intimacy that can lead to sex.
Right. So do you think is it gender specific?
No, I think some men want intimacy and some women may not even know because like we said earlier, they may equate intimacy with sex.
Right. I think most men do want, whether they verbalize it or not, I think they do want intimacy. I think they're too manly to say that's what they want though. Right?
Could be.
They may think it's a sucker move, right? But really, I think they do enjoy that component of it.
I mean, because how many men, they don't realize they may call it the foreplay or the setting it up, where candles, dinner, like I'm setting her up. No, that's intimacy.
Right. Right.
You're letting her know, babe, That's what I got for you today.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think as women, we could do a better job at verbalizing what we want. But do we not feel sometimes it's going to hurt their feelings? You know,
Not if you know your
I don't
man.
think so.
they so prideful sometimes. You be like, not, go that way. No, to the left, to the right. They're going to be offended. They're going to be offended.
Look, you're going in the wrong direction.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna tell me how to do it.
There's a whole argument. Then the whole night blown. So yeah, I mean, so how do you convey that? You may want to convey that, but
I think the time to convey that is not when
In the
it's
moment.
actually happening.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's like, I read this. 'Cause sometimes you gotta trick men into thinking
I'm telling
that
you what
they
my
know.
crazy self thinks. To the left, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the right, to the right. So don't break out a song. That's not the moment.
No, that's not the song. That's not the time.
No, that might be okay. It might work.
I'm just thinking like,
Well, when you gonna get to the now?
now walk it by yourself. Right. I was just playing. Come back, babe.
Come out now, dear.
I mean, we are crazy, to say the least. But I think that I can see you.
You done messed up the groove.
And that's exactly what will happen. So what's the best space to be able to say that? Over lunch, it's going to create an argument. Over dinner, it's going
Well, maybe
I don't know
not. Maybe not,
when
right?
should a woman have that conversation? I mean, it can come up during dating, right? Because as you're getting to know
And there-
someone.
But
and
we
there-
change though, y'all.
Right, and there are times like you both are just sitting in the bed, maybe watching TV. You can click that TV off and say, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it.
Go ahead.
Babe, I'd like to have a little intimacy. Well, what you mean? What you mean by that? Well, this hit it and quit it ain't working no more. We crawl in the bed, you punching me, poking me. Okay, I know what time it is, Then we get busy, and then it's done. No, I want a little intimacy, a little foreplay. Let's role play. I mean, come on, let's spice it up some. Now, if you know your man, your husband, he's gonna say, okay, what you got in mind? Maybe he might say, what you got in mind? Well, I mean, it's just not on me, it's on you too. What would be your ideal intimate moment with your wife or with me? What would you like to see me do or look like? Come in sexy lingerie, the garters, the what? I just feel like as we're getting older,
Right.
growing,
Right.
it doesn't have to, I think we said it once before, missionary style ain't working no more.
Right.
It's okay sometimes, but let's throw a little spice
Yeah.
in there.
And I think in these older, because we got older relationships, we've had older relationships, so I think we can say that. But for the young, the newly, I don't know if they can receive it well. Like we've been with our spouses long enough that I probably can have that. I can have that conversation, because you said I do know, my spouse. We've been together 20 plus years, so I can feel like I can have that conversation. But do you think that it can be well received for the newlywed or for the 10-year and under, or
Again,
Media.
we're going back to what we've said many times. before that marriage happens, conversation needs
Should
to
have
happen.
already happened.
And
Absolutely,
during
I
that
agree with that.
conversation, this is one of the most important conversations you need to have.
Right, because this is something that you expect to happen for the rest of your life.
Yes.
So you need to know what you're getting yourself into.
This is what's off limits, or what,
Right.
what are you,
Right.
what are you looking for? Because if you're in a godly relationship, then there shouldn't have been any sex before marriage. So what are you looking for as far as when we go to bed?
I feel like
what?
I feel so hypocritical. I felt so judged in that moment. I felt like I needed to clutch my pearls, and I didn't even have no pearls. So
I'm just saying it.
it was real school teacher-ish. I just felt, I don't know. I felt like I needed to repent or something. I felt like something was supposed to happen in that moment. Like she just got us right together just that quick, right? So that just wiped out half of us.
For true. But I'm saying, for me, what I see is a lot of more people waiting until they're married.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I can agree.
Because
with
it
that.
used to
I think I would
be,
make
let
that
me try it
decision.
before I buy it.
Yeah.
Right. I want to make sure I want to know what I'm getting into before I get into that.
Right.
But even then, it still doesn't always pan out right, because you're right, those conversations are not being had. But then Angie brought up a point too that we need to go back to. She said we change, and we do change. What worked at 20 don't work
Right.
at 30, and what worked at 30 is not working at 40, and what worked at 40 it ain't working at, it ain't gonna work, hold you in the 50s.
60s or 70s, like them talked about that other time.
I don't know, Sheila.
You should just fall in the. No, that ain't no falling. You should just stumble upon. No. If we stumble and fall, we're gonna need 911. Tell. I just tell you like it is. I'm gonna need to push my emergency.
That life alert.
Right. Not life alert. Oh Lord. Just pray till somebody get there.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. Ooh, I just got these lashes. They about to float off. Ooh. Y'all are crazy.
We roll up out that bed. That's all she wrote. Somebody gonna roll up with a broke hip.
Well, okay. Well, then that's even more reason.
Right.
You got to keep refreshing the conversation.
Exactly, babe.
But you know what? Do you think that couples are mature enough to be able to have that relationship? Because their mind instantly, I hear it all the time. They be like, well, where you get that from? Well, when you start doing that? When you
Yeah.
learn that at? Right? Do you think that people are mature enough in relationships to see it as, I just want us to be in this for the long haul, and I don't want you to be looking to the left or to the right. Can people
Or dipping
receive?
anywhere.
Correct. I want this to be, what satisfies you for the long term,
duration, yeah.
right? So, but do you think that marital foundations are strong enough to handle? That's a tough conversation. That's a big girl, big guy conversation.
And I think more of this particular talk, especially for married and for singles that are looking to marry, to have in the church.
Oh yeah. You got to talk about that.
We've got to talk about
Yeah,
it.
we do. We have to talk about it. I mean, we talk about procreating, so we got to talk about it, right? We can't skirt around it. And it's good for people to see that it's healthy, because I know even when you are saved and getting into relationships, I can only imagine it's a bunch of questions popping out. What you do, what you don't do. Is this agreeable? Is this allowable?
Right.
What should and what shouldn't? And even when your marriage, even if you're married and you were not saved when you got married, but then you become married, those same questions pop up.
Yeah.
Now I'm saved. Then wait, what does this mean? People they start feeling away. Well, that mean we can't do this no more? Does that mean this is off the
Right.
table? Like, what? So those questions, you're right, those questions pop up. So even if you do have them at the beginning of a relationship, it's good to refresh those things because needs change, desires change.
Our bodies change.
Right.
We change,
Yeah.
Exactly.
What was up here ain't no more.
Correct.
And you got to be okay with that.
Yeah. That's really good.
Yeah.
That's good. You do have to be okay with that. So communication is going to be the key. But that's another form of intimacy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And you got to be selfless. Because there are some people who are just not satisfied in their relationship because it's a selfish, one-sided relationship. One get, one don't. One serve, one just on the receiving end. So it becomes, again, need to have that conversation. But some people are just not, I guess, bold enough, you can say,
Or secure enough.
to have that conversation. Yeah. But
But
we
again,
encourage you
that's
to.
the conversation that when you meet somebody, if it's serious, this is a conversation that needs to be had. Because sex is going to happen. And is it always going to be that person's way?
It shouldn't be.
Exactly.
It should be a give and take, part of a give and take relationship. But again, that's a part of the conversation as well. Okay, so but then what about when you just want to have intimacy and you don't want the
sex.
you don't want the sex? Sometimes you just want to cuddle. Can that be received?
Hopefully.
And we can wake up as a married couple tomorrow.
Right.
That's not hard. I don't
It
think.
should be.
It's not, but egos come into play, attitudes get the flaring off, popping off.
You're not performing your wifely duties. That right there. Sure not.
But we need to be
You got
okay
a
with
second
that.
bedroom for a reason.
Correct. That's interesting. That's going to be deep. Okay, so we kind of talked about it from the woman's standpoint. So can we talk about it from the male standpoint? As women, do we hit the mark when it comes to intimacy for men?
Probably not.
Not always.
Yeah, because we really do judge it by how we see it. Right?
Or how they make
I mean,
us feel.
right? Or do you think that most people feel like it's intimacy pertains to women only and not men?
Come on now. You're right. We think they'll be all right.
Yeah.
Get it how you get it. Right? We do think it's about us, not more so about the male.
Right.
When they may have some desires and some needs as
Right.
well. Wow.
And do we, provide them with an avenue to express that without making them feel like
Conversation.
they're less than a man?
Oh my
Conversation.
goodness. Yeah, that's really good. I think that's just convicted half of the church. Because I don't think anybody is asking, babe, what do you think about intimacy? Like, what does that mean to you? I don't think people are having that conversation. Not at the dating stage if you're single, and definitely not in the marriage stage. We just assume probably or go with the flow. Right? We're not having that conversation. So as wives, we could be missing the mark altogether and think we got it going on.
And I think partially it comes from us. I know I've heard it a million times, that men are not emotionally attached. It's only a physical thing.
Correct.
And that could be a misconception that
Men
we've
are
been
not
told.
sensitive.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Well, they're sexually connected. I've heard that too. That there's not emotions does not come into factor in terms of their sex. They can have sex and not be emotionally connected.
Right.
Where we want to be emotionally connected when we're having sex. So, but that's still, I guess, because we think that, then we discount a
Right.
lot of what they may feel, because we may say, oh, they don't feel anything anyway. When really, we probably should ask them.
And I don't think that that's all the way true, especially if it's with your spouse. Now, if it's just a, one night stand or something of that nature, then if it's not of a serious nature, then yeah, maybe it is that way for them.
Right. Yeah, that's true. So yes, definitely. Wives need to talk to your husbands and find out what intimacy means for them, but then also what does that look like. I think you kind of alluded to it as well when you said, what would you like to see? You know, there are some people who are not willing to play dress up. They just are not.
Right.
You know, there are some people who are just not willing to turn the lights out. Just not.
You on?
Oh, I mean on. Yeah, some, it's just,
Yeah.
you know, some people are just not willing to be spontaneous, you know. But some people have set days
So
and
some
set
people don't have
times.
meatloaf night.
What?
I don't know what that means.
You know, Tuesday is meatloaf night, which is sex night.
Oh,
Code
Oh,
word?
okay.
Girl, I'll never look at
No, I'm
meatloaf the
just saying.
same again. I tell you. I never ever. I don't know, but I tell
just
you.
threw it out there.
I'm done with it. I never, ever. It took me back to the time when Gertie made the good the meatloaf for James in Florida from dog food. There's just some stuff you just can't undo. What we say, you can't unhear it. I can't unhear it. It's already done.
But you know, there are some couples that just they have sex on a certain night.
They do, but then that always make me wonder. Then what about the other nights?
We just go to sleep. We just climb in the bed and roll over,
that cannot.
backs to each other,
That does.
and we go to sleep.
That cannot scream. There's nothing about that screams intimacy.
Nothing.
That's robotic. There's nothing spontaneous about it. Nothing. Wow.
Or it's time to make another baby.
That's crazy. Definitely intimacy conversations need to be had all across
Yes,
America.
Yes. Y'all don't talk about nothing else.
Oh my goodness, this was a good conversation. We pray that you all were blessed by this conversation. We actually thoroughly enjoyed ourselves talking about it. We had lots of laughs, and we pray that y'all were able to pick up a few nuggets. Most importantly, let's not assume that men are okay with the intimacy we provide. Let's dig in there and ask some questions about it. What matters to them as well.
Yes.
Also, if your needs are not being fulfilled, then you need to have a conversation about what you now need. And also, let's not be robotic. Let's not have meatloaf night on Tuesday.
Switch it up.
And just switch it up.
Switch.
Absolutely. Switch it up. Make sure that you keep the spice going. Intimacy also don't always have to equate to sex.
Yes.
But intimacy can lead to sex, right? I mean, I hope
right.
you enjoy these adult conversations that we're having. As the Lord says the same, we'll continue to have them. All right, until next time, be blessed. And don't forget to continue to like, follow, and subscribe. Bye-bye.